We are with Miami hockey head coach Chris Bergeron as the Red Hawks travel to Duluth for a rematch series with the Bulldogs this weekend. Coach, I'm going to go ahead and start with the first question, but obviously the team was a little banged up over the course of the weekend. Can we see any of those players back in Duluth, or any injury updates on any of them?
Corbett and Cassetti will all be back. Savage is definitely week to week. Lown is probably more day to day, but with the short week here, I don't see him coming with us to Duluth at this point. And so I think getting the three guys I mentioned at first back will help. Obviously anybody coming back helps just with the internal competition and so on. And so that's as of right now. Unfortunately, we've had tendencies to look like we're going to get right, and then all of a sudden we're not. We're banged up again. So we'll see how the next couple of days go.
The results might not have been there, Coach, but when you have a situation like this where you're depleted a little bit with your numbers, sometimes the effort really increases. And what were your thoughts on the effort by the guys? Because the scores might not have indicated it, but the games, I thought the team played better than maybe the scores indicated.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Not only was the effort there, but we played the game basically the way we want to play it for the most part. Obviously, at the college level, there's lots of mistakes being made, and you're trying to minimize those mistakes, and hopefully your opponent doesn't capitalize on those mistakes. But when you're playing opponents like we play on a nightly basis, I just looked at the rankings came out today. The last, I think St. Cloud's at 4 and Duluth's at 5, and then there were our last 4 and our next 4 games. I mean, it makes it pretty difficult. Your margin for error is small, but I can tell you, Wads, I walked out of the building on Saturday night, feeling really good about how our team competed, and then watching the tape today, I felt pretty good about how we played the game. Just in terms of the system piece, again, we've got to clean up some mistakes. I don't think the self-inflicted things that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Duluth, their best players taking advantage, or just their players in general taking advantage of a mistake here or there, and capitalizing. And that's what we saw happening. Our process was 5 of 12. We lost the special teams. We gave up a goal, last minute. That first and last minute of each period for us is important. I mean, we had a chance. I thought Monty Graham had what looked like the open net with 40 seconds left, and they come down and score in the empty net instead. So instead of being a +1, we were -1. That's just the way it was. None of this is excuses. None of it is moral victory. It's just real. The tape reconfirmed what we thought, which is what you said, that we played really hard, and for the most part, we played the game the way we want to play it. We need to improve the depth of our talent, and that's recruiting. That takes time.
You now, as you kind of we're into the month of February now, so the time is running down. The injuries hopefully are going to kind of start to take care of themselves. What are your plans now as far, or what's the thought process I got for that, I guess, to move forward now to get ready for what will be, who knows what kind of a postseason run coming up here, and trying to get everybody healthy for that?
Well, I don't have much of a plan for trying to get people healthy. That'll be Drew and the training staff to try to get people healthy. Our plan, as coaches, will be to go back to work tomorrow and continue to work on our game, work at our game, continue to talk about playing the game the right way, continue to talk about our habits, continue to talk about the best version of the individual and then the collective. Nothing changes from that perspective, Wads. We want to be playing our best hockey at the end of the year, because that's an important time. But for me, we want to be playing our best hockey all the time. But it is getting down to the short strokes. What we tend to start to talk about at this time of year with college kids is, let's not take days for granted. I think when you come back to November, we weren't even sure if we were going to have a season, and here we are, a certain number of games in, and we've probably started to taking some things for granted. Now, again, not the way we played this weekend. I'm not saying that. I thought we were hungry, but let's not let's not get so caught up in the results right now. Let's focus on having an opportunity to play and the 2021 team together. And those numbers are dwindling. Those number of guaranteed games, those opportunities for us to be a team and play hockey together. So let's not take any days for granted. That'll be the message come tomorrow. But as far as our plan goes to make sure that our team is right, that's not going to change.
A couple of guys got rewarded, I guess, finally, for some hard work. Casey Gilling got his first goal. Matthew Barbolini got back onto the scoring column as well. A lot of that had to do with the hard effort that they were putting in there as well. But I guess it's good, at least for Casey Gilling, to see some of that hard work finally pay off.
Yeah, I mean, it's been obviously a difficult year for Casey individually. I mean, he puts pressure on himself. We expect, those kind of things. I think our expectations of him and his expectations of himself are the same. He's been squeezing it for sure. He's been pressing. And I think at times he's pressed too much where he ends up going the other way and getting nothing accomplished. So we're trying to get him just play the game the right way and you'll get rewarded for it. You start trying to cheat it or start trying to squeeze it and make something happen. It's just not going to happen. Barbs is a guy that's played pretty good hockey all year long. We think he's got a chance to be a really good player. He looks the part like a pro. He skates. He's a load of a kid in terms of down below the top of the circle, down below the goal line. He's hard to handle, and he's got puck skills to go with that. So it's nice to see him on the score sheet, but he's a guy that we think is on a good trajectory here, and sky's the limit in terms of where his game goes. I mean, I look at Michael Holland in the same breath. Like, he's a guy that hasn't played a whole lot of regular shift. He got a regular shift due to our numbers, and I thought he had a good weekend for a late recruited guy who hasn't really played hockey within a system situation on the ice out of his own mouth very much. He was, hunting down people and banging and crashing and got rewarded Friday. Could have got rewarded on Saturday. Had a couple of good chances. So it's nice to see guys take advantage of an opportunity when they get one due to injuries.